Welcome to AI Brief, episode 197. I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah.
Today we're doing a really fascinating deep dive. We've got some major shifts happening in AI talent, especially these big moves between Meta and Apple.
That's right. And we'll also look at a big push for AI in schools, getting teachers trained up.
Plus, something interesting for the creative side, specifically AI in filmmaking.
And beyond those headlines, there's actually quite a bit more bubbling up, updates from other tech players, some new tools you might find useful too.
Okay, let's dive straight in then. This story about AI talent. It feels like it's really heating up. Ruoming Pang, Apple's head of foundation AI models, apparently off to Meta.
That's the report, yeah. And the offer is supposedly in the tens of millions, a huge figure.
Wow. So what exactly was his role at Apple? Why is this such a big deal?
Well, he led the group, about 100 people, building the core AI for Apple Intelligence, think next-gen Siri, that kind of thing.
So the foundational stuff.
Exactly. His departure really highlights Apple's, well, documented struggles in AI. It could make it even harder for them to catch up. It's not just losing one person, it potentially impacts their whole strategy.
And it sounds like he might not be the only one heading for the exit. Other engineers from that same group are reportedly looking at Meta or elsewhere too.
That's what we're hearing. And you see Meta making other moves too, bringing people into their new superintelligence unit. Yuanzi Li from OpenAI, Anton Bakhtin from Anthropic. They're clearly building something big.
So for Apple, this brain drain, what's behind it? Is it just Meta poaching talent?
Well, the poaching makes headlines, but there seems to be more to it. Reports suggest internal disagreements, like leadership thinking about maybe using OpenAI or Anthropic models instead of building everything in-house.
So that could definitely cause some tension for the teams actually building the models.
Absolutely. So while Meta gets the talent, the underlying story might be about Apple's internal direction and, their ability to execute on their AI ambitions quickly. It raises questions about potential delays or relying more on others.
Okay, let's shift gears from the talent wars to education. A really big collaboration here. The American Federation of Teachers, the AFT, launching a $23 million National AI Training Academy.
Yeah, that's a substantial investment. And look at the partners involved: Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, all the heavy hitters.
So what's the goal here?
It's ambitious. They want to prepare 400,000 educators across the U.S. to actually use AI technology effectively in their classrooms. It's not just about tools, it's about changing teaching methods.
400,000. Wow. So how will they do it? What does the academy actually provide?
It's pretty comprehensive. Think workshops, online courses, professional development. They're starting with a main campus in New York City, but plan to scale it nationally.
And the tech partners, what are they bringing to the table besides the names?
Significant resources. OpenAI is putting in $10 million in funding and tech support. Microsoft and Anthropic are chipping in with training, resources, access to AI tools. Teachers will get things like priority support, API credits, basically free usage for certain tools, and early looks at new education-focused AI features.
And they're focusing on high-needs districts too, which is important.
Definitely, making sure it's accessible.
So the bigger picture here. This could really shape how AI is used and perceived in schools for years, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Equipping teachers for the changes AI brings to jobs, to learning itself.
It absolutely could influence how AI is taught, how it's governed in education, and how much it's trusted. It might set a whole new standard for AI literacy.
Okay, now let's pivot again, this time to the creative world, filmmaking specifically. There's a startup, Moonvalley, founded by ex-DeepMind researchers. They've launched an AI video model called Mirai.
Yes, and Marie has a really interesting angle. Its unique selling point is that it's trained exclusively on licensed content.
Exclusively licensed. So they're trying to avoid the copyright battles we've seen elsewhere.
Exactly, that's the goal. A lot of the content comes from indie filmmakers and agencies. They're trying to build trust with creators right from the start, using what you might call clean data.
That's smart. But how much control does it actually give filmmakers? Often these AI tools feel a bit random.
That's what they're trying to address. Mirai apparently offers quite granular control over things like camera moves, character motion, backgrounds, lighting, the specifics directors care about.
And it integrates into existing workflows, like VFX pipelines.
That's the idea. To fit into how films are actually made, not force a whole new process. Price-wise, it starts around $15 a month for 100 credits. Each 5-second clip costs maybe $1 or $2 to generate, roughly.
Okay, so this feels like a real test case for AI in Hollywood, doesn't it? Can an AI built on clean, licensed data win over creators?
It really is. If this model works and filmmakers like it, you could see a lot more investment flow into these kinds of clean data AI solutions for creative fields. It might help shift the conversation from AI being a threat to it being perhaps a useful creative partner.
Interesting. Okay, let's do a quick roundup now of some other AI news that broke today. Lots happening as always.
Definitely. First up, Meta is doubling down on AI hardware. They took a $3.5 billion stake in EssilorLuxottica, the company behind the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. Shows commitment there.
Big bet on wearables. What else?
OpenAI is hitting back in the talent war. They've hired 4 senior engineers from Meta, Tesla, and xAI, including people who built xAI's big supercomputer, Colossus, bolstering their own scaling team.
The talent just keeps moving. Okay, next.
Microsoft and Replit are partnering up. They're bringing Replit's agentic coding abilities, AI that can sort of write code more autonomously to Azure enterprise clients.
Agentic coding for enterprise. Keep going.
Security is tightening at OpenAI. Reports of fingerprint scans, isolated computers. Seems like concerns about espionage are rising.
Understandable given the stakes.
Anything else?
Google updated VO3, their video model. Now it can do first-frame image-to-video generation with audio and better character consistency.
Getting more sophisticated. There was also an unsettling report via a U.S. diplomatic cable. An AI was used to impersonate Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Signal, targeting foreign ministers.
Wow, that's concerning. Real-world impersonation at that level.
Indeed. And finally, IBM unveiled its new Power 11 chips and servers, specifically designed to make deploying AI easier for businesses.
Okay, quite a mix there. Now let's talk practical tools. What's trending that people might actually use?
All right, let's run through a few. First, Hunyuan 3D Polygen. This one's for getting really high-quality, professional, almost art-grade 3D models out of AI.
Okay, for the 3D artists out there.
Then there's Proactor. It's pitched as a context-aware AI teammate that learns your workflow and tries to proactively help, sort of anticipates what you need.
Like a really smart assistant.
Emergent 2.0. This is an agentic coding platform. Helps developers build AI apps quickly, giving them a specific vibe or personality, ready for production.
Building AI with personality. Interesting.
Smo LM3 from Hugging Face. It's a small language model, but it's multilingual, handles long context, and is good at reasoning. Useful for global apps or analyzing long docs.
Small but mighty.
Autocoder aims to let you build full-stack web apps without writing any code yourself. Front-end, back-end, the works.
The no-code dream continues.
Candidate.ly useful for job seekers. It formats your CV into professional resumes and cover letters tailored for job applications.
Streamlining the job hunt.
Filtrix lets you quickly turn your photos into different art styles using AI, good for social media or just playing around.
Instant art filters.
And lastly, Gitcord. This tracks your GitHub repositories and gives you real-time insights and analysis. Helps track progress, collaboration, that kind of thing.
Useful for developer teams. Great list. Well, we have covered a lot of ground today, from these huge strategic shifts in AI talent, particularly watching Apple's next moves, to really practical applications in education and creative fields like filmmaking.
Yeah.
The pace is just incredible.
It really is. And it makes you think, doesn't it? As you watch all these pieces move, the talent wars, the educational pushes, the new tools, consider how these seemingly separate threads are actually weaving together the infrastructure of our digital future. And it's happening fast. So the question to ponder might be, which industry, maybe one you work in or rely on, could be completely reshaped by these kinds of AI shifts in just the next 5 years? And are you ready for that potential disruption?
A powerful thought to end on. To stay informed on this rapidly evolving world, make sure you follow AI Brief wherever you get your podcasts. And if you found this deep dive useful, please do share it with anyone else who wants to quickly get up to speed on the most important developments in AI today.